Sangat ji, now we know where these three principles of Guru Nanak Dev Ji are mentioned, which is Kirt Karni, Vand Ke Shakna and Naam Japna. Through Kirt Karni, through Vand Ke Shakna, we adopt the qualities of Vaheguru, of Guru Sahib in us. And we then create good karam, which is important for us to sustain or have a good life. Simran destroys our bad karam that we have brought into this world with us, or that we might have even created while we are in this world as well. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the series where we discuss and learn about the stories of Gursikhs who have spent their time with Guru Nanak Dev Ji and Guru Angad Dev Ji and so on. Today's Sakhi, the first Sakhi, we are going to listen to the story of Bhai Taru Popat, who was a Sikh of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. So Bhai Gurdas Ji in Vaar number 11, they mention Bhai Sahib's name and they say, Taru Popat Taraya, Gurmukhi Bal Supaye Udasi. So Taru Popat, a Sikh named Bhai Taru Popat, came to Guru Nanak Dev Ji and he was liberated because at a very young age, Gurmukhi Bal Supaye Udasi, because at a very young age, he had that Udasi Pavna, means he was already detached from the world. So what is the story of Bhai Taru Popat? As we discussed earlier in the introduction, the names of Gursikhs mentioned in Bhai Gurdas Ji Vaar, Bhai Mani Singh Ji Shaheed has actually opened up and retold the stories of this Gursikh. So we are now translating the Sakhi as told by Bhai Mani Singh Ji. So Bhai Taru Popat was just 10 years old when he first came to meet Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And when they came to have darshan of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, they folded their hands and they made this beinti, this plea, ki hey Sache Padshah, O true king, O protector of the poor, the meek. I've heard that those who come to the sanctuary of saints, they are often saved and they are always in peace, they have found peace. I too, for the same reason, have come to your sharan, to your sanctuary. Please bless me with liberation and with peace. Guru Nanak Dev Ji, hearing this, they were amazed and they said that, how come a small child like you, a 10-year-old child like you, could have such a great desire, could even think of such a thing? People of your age, children of your age, they are focused on playing with their friends, and where did you get such thought from? So when Bhai Taru Popat hears this question, he then tells the story of how he got this desire. He says, one day I was observing my mother cooking. So what she was doing was she was creating fire, and for that fire to be created, she first burnt the small twigs and branches, the thin ones. And only then, as the fire kept on getting bigger, she kept on putting smaller branches and twigs. When the fire got bigger and strong enough, only then she started putting the bigger logs and branches. And when I looked at this, I thought to myself that to create fire, my mother had to first burn the small branches and twigs. Only then she added the bigger ones. Which means that death could come to anyone, anytime, anywhere, irregardless of age, whether one is a child or one is of old age. So when this thought came into my mind, I thought to myself, ki there is no bharosa, there is no trust or faith in death. It could come anytime. So what should I do with my life? So that death could not capture me, death could not make me fear of it, and that is for me to find saints, go to the sharan and ask for this blessing. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji, hearing this plea of Bhai Taru Popat, they're very impressed and they said, Bhai Taru, you will become a Kul Taru. Kul Taru meaning that you will save not only yourself, but you will also save, Tarna means to save your whole Kul, your whole generation. So even Gurbani says as well, Aap tare sagle kul tare, means they save themselves, the Bhagats, the saints who come into this world and do bhakti, they save not only themselves, but their whole kul, their whole generation as well. So what are the bhajan, the words, the command that Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave to Bhai Taru Ji? Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, Bhai Taru Ji, you must now follow these three principles from today onwards. And what are those? The first one is earn a righteous and honest living, which is what we call kirt karni. And number 2 is with your earnings, share with other people, help the poor and the needy. Take out your 10% of your earning and distribute for humanity. Vandake chakana. And the third one, which is one of the most important principles in Sikhi, is Naam Japana, which means to meditate and remember God at all times. So, after giving these 3 bachan, these 3 hukam command to Bhai Taru Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji then tells a story about how important is it to have virtues of God. Guru Sahib gave an example of a king who owned a palace. Guru Sahib said that this king, as he was building his palace, he decided that on one wall in the palace, he was going to embed that wall with diamonds, with rubies and all kinds of precious stones. So he invested a lot of money on that one wall. And on the opposite wall, what he had done is that he had added glass on the whole wall and added mercury into the glass. So what happens is that glass with mercury now becomes a mirror. So this wall is now completely covered with mirror, while this wall is now covered with stones and jewelries and diamonds and whatnot. So what happens is that the king's purpose of doing that is, instead of trying to cover all the walls with stones, he just covers one and the other walls are now mirrors. When someone walks into this palace, what this person would see is that the whole palace seems to be covered with precious stones, rubies and diamonds, when in fact it's just one wall. Now Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that this wall with the stones and diamonds represents the Guru, represents Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And the wall which has mirror on it represents the Sikha. What a Sikha must do is that the Sikha's mind must be completely pure. So here Guru Nanak Dev Ji says is your mind must be pure from attachment and from enmity. So attachment moh, and enmity means hatred, means vair virorta. And Guru Sahib says that what happens with attachment is that attachment makes it much more difficult for us to leave this world. And with enmity is that we cannot see God in anybody, which is a very important aspect when we're doing bhakti. So Guru Sahib says the Sikha's mind must be clean like the mirror. Only then the Sikha can reflect the virtues, the beauty, the guna of Guru Sahib on their mind. And when people look at the Sikha, they would see the Guru in the Sikha as well. Even Gurbani says, Guru Sikha, Sikha Guru hai. So the purpose of a Sikha is then to reflect the virtues of the Guru. And now what happened is that Bhai Taru Popat accepted the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, practice these 3 bachan, kirt karni, Vandake chakana and Naam Japana, and you will then be liberated. Do Prema Bhakti. Prema Bhakti means loving devotion towards Vaheguru, which means that love is so important, because without love, we wouldn't even have the desire, the itcha to even do anything. If a mother did not have love for her child, the mother would not feed the child, would not even bother about the child's safety and survival. It's all because of love for something that we have desire to do that thing. So Guru Sahib says, have prema bhakti, loving devotion towards Vaheguru. Only then you will start doing all this bhakti, kirt karna, vanake shakana and naam japna. So Bhai Taru Popat listened to the bachan, said Sat Vachan, and this way, practicing the hukam of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Bhai Taru Popat was liberated from this world. So that was the first sakhi of Bhai Taru Popat from Sikha Di Bhagat Mala. Sangat Ji, now we know where these 3 principles of Guru Nanak Dev Ji are mentioned, which is kirt karni, vanake shakana and naam japna. We often speak about it, like in every camps, every katha, but somehow we are taking these things very lightly. Why are these 3 principles so important? It is because through kirt karni, through vandake shakana, we adopt the qualities of Vaheguru, of Guru Sahib in us. And we then create good karam, which is important for us to sustain or have a good life. And what Naam Japana does, what Simran does is Simran destroys our bad karam that we have brought into this world with us, or that we might have even created while we are in this world as well. And for us to become one with Vaheguru, we have to do so much of Simran and Bhakti to destroy all of that karam, so we have no karam accounts to pay off, and we can then become one, merge back with Vaheguru. So that's the teaching Guru Nanak Dev Ji is giving, not only Bhai Taru Popat but to all of us as well. So hope you enjoyed the Sakhi, and we'll see you in the next Sakhis onward. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.